Welcome back to the Daily Effect. Let's go to our market updates with Herenia Capital Advisors, PETRI Redingling-Huys. PETRI, good afternoon, and thank you again for joining us.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me.
Okay, PETRI, before we speak about President Cyril Ramaphosa's announcement earlier on today, let's get an idea of the markets today.
Okay, we'll do a quick rundown. The top 40 index is up around 0.25% today, so a little bit better than it has been. It's been a bit of a lackluster, kind of dull week, really. Our market is not performing as well as one would have anticipated, and we'll get to that in a second because we'll see how the US is doing a little bit better today. In any case, Resource 20 index is up around 0.75%. Industrial 25 index is up around 0.1%. Financial 15 index giving back some gains. It is down 1/3% today. Precious metals and mining index down around 0.1%. And then the retailers index up a solid 1% on the day. So not a bad day, I guess. Index level, it's a bit boring and flattish, but at least there are some of the subsectors that are doing relatively well. Comparing that to the rest of the world, FTSE 100 index is up 0.2%, so we're broadly in line with them. In Germany, the DAX is up 0.1%. French market, the CAC 40 index down just over 0.1%. And then the US, on the back of inflation numbers, I think the expectation was 4.7% inflation. The actual number came in at 5%, so slightly ahead of expectations. Most of that inflation, ironically, concentrated in second-hand cars, used car sales, rental increase, and flight tickets, right? So I guess that's slightly better than expected. I don't know. I mean, even though the headline number was slightly higher than what was anticipated or expected by economists, perhaps that argument for, hey, this is transitory, might have some grounds. In any case, this results in the S&P 500 being up just over 0.5% at this stage. Dow Jones Industrial Average similarly up just over 0.5%. The Nasdaq Tech Index, of course, up 0.9%. A little bit concerning, the Russell 2000, which is a broader index, 2,000 smaller companies, is down 0.1%. But overall, the market looking fairly robust in the US at this stage. Commodity prices, the gold price slightly down 0.1%. Mostly stable, really, over the last couple of days, trading $1,893.10 a fine ounce. Platinum price down around 1% at $1,140 a fine ounce. Energy prices, Brent crude oil, I mean, it's a one-way trip up at this stage. 0.2% up as it trades in London at $72.68 a barrel. The US counterpart, which is, of course, West Texas Intermediate crude oil, is similarly up around 0.6%, trading currently at $70.37 a barrel. Then in the world of currencies, the Rand fighting back today. I mean, it was on the back foot yesterday, but it's 1% stronger versus the dollar now, trading at 13.60 Rand. Also 1% stronger versus the euro at 16.57 Rand, and 0.7% stronger versus the pound at 19.27 Rand.
PETRI, of course, President Cyril Ramaphosa earlier announced that companies can generate their own electricity at 100 megawatts of power. I just want to get your take on it now, and I think, the independence that is going to be granted to companies for them to go ahead and say, hey, listen, we can produce our own electricity, and we really don't need the state supply of electricity, which is Eskom, to go ahead and us relying on them for that power.
So two comments. One, long solar panel producers, right?
We're embarking on that for quite some time.
Yeah, I think this is great news. I think that companies, already we see that private companies are fulfilling many of the roles that generally people rely on the state for, right? So security, education, healthcare, all these types of things, energy generation now. I guess, we're not opening the door for, there are independent power producers and they're coming, and that's very exciting and all the rest. But for small businesses or even medium-sized enterprises, 100 megawatts of power is a lot. To be completely independent and off the grid without facing any sort of penalties or fines, I think that's fantastic. Do you know how many more restaurants will be able to stay open and how much less load shedding will be able to affect us, right? It's going to save jobs. It's going to create new jobs because I think there's going to be a sudden rush for, well, hey, I need the ability to generate power. What do I need? Storage, production, solar panels, all sorts of stuff. It's very good news.
Yeah, definitely. And of course, we wait to see now how can that help in terms of the households, because PETRI, we still have load shedding and that's still going to be carrying on until Sunday evening. So yeah, a dark weekend ahead for us. PETRI Redingling-Hayes, portfolio manager at Renia Capital Advisors. Of course, we will be wrapping up the week's markets with PETRI tomorrow. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Well, that's PETRI Redingling-Hayes giving us the market updates. And of course, he'll be wrapping up everything tomorrow on our Friday edition of The Daily Factor. Stay tuned. After the break, we'll be back with our sports update.